I got you, man. Appreciate that, Green. We love the production over here at Ammonites, especially for their Tristrike Tuesdays. All great people, and as I mentioned, they're getting into it with Hoothoot Recruit. They have a TO on their team. They might have the home field advantage, if you will, the insider knowledge that they need to win this game. But
Hear me out. Hear me out on this. Just rig it so it goes to game 5.
So true. Actually, they need the. We just need a lot of good
Just for content
publicity here.
purposes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
all you gotta do.
they're doing it for the
Be
content.
like, alright, we'll let you hold zone till like 5 and then we'll retake it and then, we'll take it to 5 minutes and then this game we'll do this. Just for content, just for a little silly, goofy chaos. No, but in all genuine seriousness, I cannot wait. I'm excited. I really hope this goes for game 5. And like you said, home turf. I don't know how that applies in, Splatoon, but sure, let's go with it. Let's say that Hoothoot Recruit have the home field advantage.
They're just so used to running into these Tri-Strike tournament teams, that they're just already prepared for whatever they could have thrown at them. But it is going to be very exciting to see what they bring out here. I cannot wait for it, especially knowing that you're seeing like two titans, if you will. Neither of these teams losing anything. So there's one team here is going to be losing something. And that tells you enough already about what is going to happen shortly.
Yeah. We'll see if Hoothoot Recruit can keep up with the just lightning fast aggression from Stealing Aim. So far, no team has been able to. We've seen a couple games go neutral, but other than that, it has been just a wrecking machine of any team they've played. But like we've seen Hoothoot Recruit also just causing absolute destruction on the other end of the bracket. And
yeah, no, both these teams are absolutely running the bracket right now. They're not letting anybody have any fun. They're the only ones enjoying themselves, taking all of the wins for themselves, knocking out every team they come across.
An unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Something has to give in this next set. Remember, it is best of 5, I believe. Should be a good one.
I do believe that we're going to be for
And that we are.
finals. He cannot wait to see how these teams play.
Robo
Getting
Ramen
into, we already saw earlier on this Robo Ramen gameplay from the side of Silly Name. We saw how explosive they were at that opening. We saw how strong they were at holding. But
how confident
question is
Zimmy was
Hoothoot
on
Recruit
opening
even stronger? Getting into our game here, we are seeing Hoothoot Recruit bring out not only the headed, but also the 10 and decav, while we see Silly Name go to their tried and true Dread and Zimmy combo here, getting into the mid fight. Both these teams are trying to find their in. They want to find their on the side of Silly Name, able to find a quick pick here, pushing in even further, allowing them to get a couple points on the board so far.
They have strikes online as well.
Hoothoot Recruits to back out and be a little bit more behind here.
We've got specials now coming out from Hoothoot Recruit, looking to just try and retake the zone, trying to stop the count. They do, but only momentarily. The Silly Name, again, just holding that zone. They have been amazing at just re-flipping the second the other team caps today. And we've got now Hoothoot Recruit finally getting some points on the board, but I guess Silly Name just able to just at least keep it stagnant and now starts counting down the penalty. There's 2 go down for Hoothoot Recruit now. That decap trying to do some damage. Unlucky not to get the direct there. Just a little too far away.
Yeah, no, they just weren't able to find it as Hoothoot Recruit is on in there, having had gone down. Silly Name breaking through that penalty there, just keep fighting penalties over and over again, trying to keep a pushing through, not gonna allow them to have anything on. Like as we see 3 members of Silly Name go down to the Zuka. You love to see the Zuka shots putting in work like that. As Hoothoot Recruit pushes up, giving them a meaty 40-point penalty here, and forcing them to be a little bit more passive as this T-Tech tries to goes in, be disruptive, give them a flip, force them to eat a penalty as well, as they regroup and take that zone back for themselves just like that. Unable to keep the hold going, Hoothoot Recruit does go down, unfortunately. Still trying to keep it going. The Jet is out, trying to find a couple picks here, holding off Silly Name from getting anywhere too deep in their zone. But it looks like the Decap's able to clean up that blaster down there, forcing them to send a second member to clean them off. But they've already eaten through the penalty.
That Decap wreaking havoc, but I don't think it was in the right area to do so. I said, allowing the rest of that team to fight alone. And, you know, Silly Name just able to hold on. Again, getting another hefty penalty, but it isn't too much. As Hoothoot Recruit finally retakes and starts now counting down the zone. Reslider online, doesn't quite catch anybody. And another one coming out for Hoothoot Recruit. Gets 2 down goal for Silly Name here. 3 down. They need to take heavy advantage to this now. They need to keep them locked out. They have the Zuka ready and loaded to go. The 10 shield coming out for protection. Popping the Zuka here. As strikes come out for Silly Name. Maybe trying to just stall the zone even for a little bit. As Hoothoot Recruit maybe looks to take the lead here. Brella stopping the Reslider completely. But Silly Name here, able to stall at least for momentarily, as it looks like a 2v3 situation. And this stall is going, oh, this is close. Strikes going out for Silly Name, that's going to flip. As again, they are just, you know, they're just clawing onto this lead again. Just like we saw earlier, with a special to just flip the zone in their favor, giving a pretty decently sized penalty to their opposition. We've seen that a few times today. And they are really good at just somehow just holding onto that lead in the most dire of situations.
Well, most definitely, they're putting so much of their value into that Tristrike, into that slider, into that bubble even, to keep that lead going, and they've kept it going. They've breaking that penalty, but looks like they're gonna get another one right there as we see Hoothoot Recruit able to kind of clean them up, getting 2 down, forcing them to back up a little bit. A member really deep inside that tent, going to cause some problems up there. Having that Zuka ready, popping the Jet as well. Both of them are just going in, causing mayhem. 2 go down from the Jet. Able to keep it up, so much aggression, forcing the pencil out of position, and just keeping up the aggro, needing to get only a 20-ish points left on the board. Unfortunately, 2 do go down as we see the bubble going up. The slider is out, ready to flip that zone. Zone getting flipped, giving them a 40-point penalty, a very hard penalty to shoot through here, forcing them to play in overtime if they want to get the lead here, but it doesn't look like Silly Name is going to allow them to even get overtime. As we see them going in and cleaning house, getting 2 members down right there. With only 10 seconds left online, a lot of Silly Name is pushing up and ready to take position. 10 going in, trying to do their best, but it just isn't enough. The Zuka is out, but so are the strikes. The zone, it could be either teams, but it's not going to be overtime, as we see Silly Name taking game 1 here. Just how intensive that was. At the end there, both teams were just exploding with passion, pushing in the other. Is absolutely outstanding to see, and this is why.
I think we found Silly Name's kryptonite. I don't think they're too confident in knowing how to deal with a Tenbrella.
Oh,
You
no,
saw it just pushed them out into spawn.
Yeah.
It completely blocked off a Reslide. It almost gave them the lead. The only downside is that the
Reef-Slider
Tent did
play.
get caught out of position at one point, and now it's just able for Silly Name to just then do that thing of just holding forwards and getting that aggression out. But Hoothoot Recruits, they said, nah, we've also had an absolute hot streak going into these finals. We ain't going down without one heck of a fight here.
Yeah, no, they did not want to give up anything at all whatsoever. They wanted to keep it going as long as they possibly could, and it was just truly interesting to see that play out right there, especially with that Tent going in deep, and then the Jet right there to back them up. Also, it was just so that was the play they needed right there. It was just so It was just
Insane.
that
Nice
slider ready
clean
to
double.
flip the zone back once again. They just didn't have a full handle, not enough restraints on silly name in order to get everything in their favor to work out.
I see. After watching the other sets, I'm worried here. Is this another situation of silly name just playing with their food and just said, "All right, that's enough fun." Are we gonna see them wipe the floor? Or who recruits the real deal here? Can they push silly name to the limit as we open up on game 2, Mahi Mahi Resort?
Already we are seeing them trying getting that early push in there, unfortunately not able to keep it going as we see silly name clean house getting a clean wipe one after the other on Hoothoot Recruit. Unfortunately just not able to deal with that bubble, not able to deal with the space that was being taken and going down like that. But it is not out yet. You know, of course, whenever it comes to Mahi, nothing in the match matters for the first 50 points because there's just such a
There's
mediocre,
no
such a
map.
bad
You
map,
don't
if
have
you
a
will.
map to play on.
There
No.
isn't a map to play on. No, but the map has finally opened up as we see Hoothoot Recruit going in, getting a lot of picks, flipping that zone back, and forcing Silly Name to retreat, taking so much of their space, not going to even let them have that bubble up for long as they keep the zone running, keep it going, able to take advantage of the more open map that they have the space to run around and freely move. But it doesn't look like Silly Name is the only ones who are going to be going at a disadvantage from the map being open as we see them get a short little pincer and force Hoodoo Recruits to back out there, forcing them to retreat and keep them on the back end just a little bit longer. And the longer they're forced out, the more points they can get through that penalty. The more points they get through that penalty, the more points they'll get on the board here as we see them try and just find that last second they need to get online as the crab comes up, able to try and get a little bit more effort in as we see two members trade out, two members down on the side of Hoot Recruit, but not out yet as they still keep on fighting. The jet is open. Both of the Splatlings just going at it with each other. The Zimmy able to keep it out as Silly Lame is just holding onto the zone, not letting go, clawing onto it earlier, as you mentioned, trying to hold them out just for a little bit longer to secure the win here.
Yeah, what's interesting this game, assuming that Hoo Recruit can't flip. Hold on. Okay, commentator's curse strikes again as they get that penalty for silly name. But what I was going to mention is that silly name isn't. They're playing aggressive, but not nearly as aggressive as we've seen. There hasn't been too many picks at the beginning. I think it's just their paint output just outweighs so much more compared to Hoo Recruits because silly name has the Zimmy, the Dread under T-Tech, along with the pencils just popping out coolers compared to, you know, a decav and a Tenbrella. It's just they're struggling for pain here, Hoo Recruit. It's not necessarily about going 2-3 down. As I mentioned that they go 2 down here, but it's Silly Name here close down that penalty and look to finally end game 2 in their favor. 2-0 to Silly Name. One more for the set. Can Hoo Recruits dig themselves out of this hole? Can they, like I said, just push Silly Name to their limit?
Yeah, no, they're gonna have to force them out to the limit, taking them all the way to game 3, winning both those matches here. And as you mentioned, a lot less paint on the side of Hoover Recruit, electing for the higher damage, those easier to kill weapons. And I think a big thing that we notice is that they do not have as high a cooler output, not having that pencil on their side either. Just really slow gameplay here and forces Hooter Recruit to kind of be more. They have to be more skillful whenever they're and especially if they want to break through, which they just weren't able to find the breakthrough they needed to get through. And that is what Silly Name took advantage of to get that win here.
Yes, here we go, game 3, Barnacle. Silly Name needing one win now out of these next 3 to claim the gold bracket and be your Tristrike Tuesday 19 champions. But it's not over yet. I've seen bigger miracles happen in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Hoothoot Recruit just absolutely shocks everybody and says, nah, we've also wreaked havoc in this bracket so far. We're not going down that easy. We're not giving up just yet.
No, they definitely are not going to give up. They're not going to throw in the towel. This is a team that is already This is a team that's well established. They've played with each other. They know how they're feeling, and they know exactly what they're going to bring out. Keeping their same comp, they know what they want to run, and they're going to run in the down. As we see the Blapples come out once again on the side of Silly Name, going to run it in, seeing a big change come out with the normal header instead of that credit, giving them cooler now, finally able to kind of contest the cooler output that Silly Name was able to bring to the table as we see them push up, able to get an early lead here, only a couple points on the board, unfortunately, but it looks like they're able to capitalize off of it, keeping it going even further as we see a couple trades, both members going 2 down with the Blapples pushing them out, getting that slider online, able to find a pick, but going down right after to the decav. Neither of these teams want to give up their plat. Neither of them want to give up too much space here as they both are just fighting with each other to take the other one's spot here as we get into it with Silly Name able to get a couple more points on the board, getting this lead here, keeping it going just a little bit further. The strikes come out, able to force that jet out of position, making them recall as we see the slider go out, able to get a quick pick over there, getting a couple chip damage done, also giving them time to take that zone with the Zuka out, pushing them around, trying to get them out of position, chipping them weak so that they can just play off of each other well as we see them going. But with the slider ready, they need to get rid of this Blapples fast before they just flip the zone back themselves, just like that. Able to find a quick pick as the slider doesn't even need to come out. We see the strikes just putting in work, painting all of it for them as Silly Name able to get the true advantage here and push up.
Yeah, you mentioned that cooler output. I think it's helped Hoothoot Recruit a lot, but you know, those strikes just, they're so good at just flipping almost any zone. It's insane. You don't even need a reef most of the time if you just have those strikes on deck and ready to go. As we see one down here, go for Hoothoot Recruit, looking dire, but they get a trade back. The cooler is online, but a two down a piece now as they look to get a Zuka pick, and Hoothoot Recruit finally able to get a retake here into mid and maybe trying to start push their stack here. Decaf has the jet online. Are they going to pop? No, they're going to wait a little bit. There goes the jet, trying to push out the snipe, trying to push out that pencil. Oh, but gets shot down by the Tech in from behind. And Silly Name, once again, they are so good at just keeping their composure on retakes and just getting the most crucial picks when they need to. They're almost sneaking away of they need to get a pick like from an off angle. They're so good at finding off angles to get a really important pick.
And speaking of important picks, we see that T-Tech go down, denying them those strikes that they have been relying on for those retakes as the jet comes out, forcing them to pay more attention to the backline, giving Hoothoot Recruit more time to push in as we see them go 2 down, able to take the zone in their favor, cleaning up, trying to get all these picks that they need, not going to go down to any silly off angles that they had been dying to earlier as we see them push up, breaking through that penalty and putting a couple more points on the board, forcing Silly Name to push in here as we see the decav just going in, trying to fight, getting a pick and retreating safely, unfortunately going down to the T-Tech, going in, trying to paint up by themselves, going with those strikes, able to take the zone as their own if they can't be painted over, but it looks like Hoothoot Recruit able to keep it just a little painted for a little bit longer as they take it all the way down to 30, able to push it and take the lead for themselves as we see them keep on holding, not trying to give it up, trying to take them to the KO victory right here. But the strikes come out, forcing them to retreat, forcing them to paint over as the T-Tech goes in, going down to a bomb with only 10 ticks left. It looks like Hoothoot Recruit has it in the bag, but it only has so much they could do as they take game 3, not going down without a fight, not letting Silly Name get another sweep in as we see them secure the game 3 victory.
Yeah, those couple strikes, they just weren't enough. I think Silly Name, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe they got too confident, but anytime they needed a pick, anytime they needed something to paint with those strikes, they always went 1 or 2 down. And Hoothoot Recruit, nice and simply just holding on and not getting too confident, saying, no, we need this win. We need to get back into the set. Just holding mid, especially with that Tenbrella, especially with that Inkjet. That decav is wrecking absolute havoc for Hoothoot Recruits, getting amazing picks and taking a lot of space. This should be in a great game 4. It's so nice to see Hoothoot Recruits just kind of get out a response and saying, hold on, no. This ain't over until we say it's over.
No, they definitely did not want to go out with a fight. Going into our game 4 here on Zones Mako, we saw earlier how Silly Name kind of struggled on this map too. Only able to really get that lead after 30 or after that half minute mark. So it was already a struggle for them before when they were fighting the previous team and fighting Hoothoot Recruit, who has shown to be a lot more advantageous with their aggressive position taking. It might be a game that Hoothoot Recruit is able to take off of them again going into the game 5 here.
Yeah,
I
I
would
think the
honestly
one
love to
thing
see just
Hoothoot Recruit needs is patience against this team, and I think they've shown a lot of that. It was very easy for Hoothoot Recruits to go those first two games down, and just kind of react and say, "Oh, you want to hold forward? It's okay. We'll hold forward into you." But instead, they played it slow. They played it a lot more patient, and it paid off, especially with that 10. It looks like it's. I'm pretty sure that's the same problem as they had before. Cooler had it as well. Again for that cooler, which paid off for them last game.
only is the cooler paying off. We see the strikes coming out already as Hoothoot are able to paint over it, keep on fighting. Unfortunately, the slider does go down to the T-Tech. The bubble is out and allows them to get a couple more picks on the side for a Silly Name, able to push up, taking their plat, rather their stack for themselves. As we see the members fighting with each other, playing off that chip, playing off that 90 damage dread, as the Zimmy just lands a little chip shots, able to hold off Hoothoot Recruit from pushing in here. But with that Zuka online and a couple picks and the slider all going in at once, we see them get a flip, giving them a penalty once again, allowing them to get back in. Not going to make it easy on them as the Jet is out, trying to cause some mayhem, trying to get a fit pick right here, doing a lot of chip damage for their team to just play off of. But with that member who's still behind, able to take them out, not going down on that jump there, not relenting at all, just keeping it going one after the other, trying to find that last member they need to get back in there and force them off with the Zuka out, able to pick off their pencil, denying them that cooler and play off of this off angle with the Dread going in behind, able to get a pick right here as they go in and take the zone for themselves. All by themselves to get the flip and give them a big penalty here.
Yeah, that is a chunky penalty. And we talked about before, stealing in for now, getting those off angles for the important picks they need. Who looked at that and said, yeah, we can also get off angles, and we can also retake the zone when we need it the most. And looking like a neutral game now, one down apiece each team, two going down for Silly Name. Who recruit an advantage and maybe looking to take the lead here unless the pencil can do something about it. And it's just barely holds on as the strikes come out, but it's not going to be enough as Hoothoot Recruits barely takes the lead. Silly Name now looking to try and retake, but no, they just can't get a hold of the zone. It's unfortunate. It's one down goes for Silly Name, and they get the trade back. Silly Name just trying to get this penalty going for Hoothoot Recruit, but Hoothoot Recruit is not allowing it. Finally able to get the cap as two go down for Hoothoot Recruit and gets the reef slider cancel and looking to chow down on that penalty, which looks to be pretty short now.
Yeah, like as you mentioned, they're just trying to break through that penalty they have to deal with now. Having only 20 points, or rather 20 ticks they have to get through. But will it be enough? As we see the Zuka coming out once again, we saw how explosive that Zuka was earlier, able to give them enough pressure with the slider as well. Not going to let them have that lead, denying them the lead, giving them another penalty they have to get through. Not even giving them the opportunity to paint the zone yet, as we see them taking another 40-point penalty.
Looked at Silly Name and said, you want to claw into a lead for zone? Yeah, we can do that too. This is insane. Here we go. Flank coming out from the Dread here.
They're just trying to play up. They want to take as much attention, much time as they can away from Hoothoot Recruit to just get this last point they need. Able to finally find it. The slider, not enough to stop that flip again. Unfortunately, not working out. But with the Jet out and online, as these teams are fighting, we see Silly Name able to win that team fight there, playing off just a little bit better with that chip from the Dread there, as they're able to keep the lead going, trying to break through the second penalty that they have. They just keep eating these penalties. They don't want to let them get any points online, especially with that slider. We see the Zuka is ready. Will it get popped? Unfortunately, a member does go down as the Zuka is coming out the slider, forced to retaliate against this flank behind. And with so many members of Hoothoot Recruit unable to get on that zone with only 10 ticks left. It's going to be a struggle with the strikes coming out, forcing them to get to an unfavorable position. It looks like Silly Name is able to secure a game 4 victory in taking gold bracket as their own, taking home the trophy.
It's almost as if Silly Name was. They were in a dire situation. They were close to just having that set go 2-2. But then they remembered, oh, hey, we
We're
play
silly.
really aggressive.
We get
And
a little silly, and they just went in.
and that Dread just went on the flank and said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to cause chaos. Let me just get them to look at me. Hey, I'm over here. As that zone just ticks down and ticks down. And, that forced roof slider being wasted onto the flank was a huge, huge move. As Silly Name takes gold bracket. But all props to Hoothoot Recruits. I'm sure they had Silly Name sweating it out there for a second, as they did not go down without a fight, and hats off to them to a well-deserved second place, wreaking absolute havoc in the rest of the bracket. But Silly Name for now, your gold bracket champions for Tristrike Tuesday number 19.
Yeah, that was just absolutely outstanding work from both these teams here. As we noted earlier, both these teams were running the brackets. They did not want to let anybody have any fun, and just coming together in the final, seeing this really exciting match here. All these games were just an absolute joy to watch. It really felt like a toss up until that very last second into these final two matches here, as we saw just both them playing in unison, even just off of each other so well. And it is looks like Silly Name is just getting this. Silly was all it took to
I'm
win that game for him.
I'm a
It just
Silly
had to
Name.
be sillier.
If I'm a Silly
I'd say
Name,
so too. Yeah.
I'm flying to Vegas. I'm
Yeah.
allowed to.
Honestly,
I
they
physically just cannot lose right now
they
if
gotta
I'm
head out
Silly
to
Name.
Vegas. Yeah, you're right, man. With how much has been in their favor so far, they could definitely go to Vegas and play off of it amazingly well. They're on a roll right now, and I'm sure that they are loving what they have so far. I think it is very notable to also note that our round three winners were Jelly Squids taking it. So our podiums is Silly Name with first, Hoothoot Recruit with second, and Jelly Squids with third. All of these teams doing amazing work, and it's always a joy to watch and of course commentate with you. But I do believe we're going to be heading out shortly. So before I
Yes.
leave, where can I find you at, man?
You can find me at velvetmoon_ on Blue Sky and Twitter. Same as Twitch, as I stream almost daily. How about yourself?
I am fine. I'm not a super big streamer or anything like that. I just do a little commentating here and there. But you can find me over at Blue Sky, over at Out of Idea. Was able to get there early enough to get that handle. So that's where I can be found. And of course, a big shout out to all of the TOs who are coming out and making sure the event runs smoothly. And of course, to Green for casting this and giving us all the gameplay to comment.
And thank you for stepping in last minute to help me out
Oh, of
here for
course.
this amazing gold bracket.
Yeah, it was absolutely a pleasure to watch. And even more of a pleasure to commentate, man. Yeah, it was great.
I think that's going to be it from us. Take care, everybody.